Hey Avon reps and Team Momentum, it's Emily Segrin, and I want to do a video today for you about how to convert Avon leads. At first it was how to convert OMA leads, but I decided I should make it broader than that. So those of you that don't know me, I'm Emily Segrin. I've been selling since 2008. I sell at the President's Council level, and I am currently a gold leader. You can find information and tips from me at makeupmarketers.com. That's where I also sell my DVD bundles and have all kinds of free tips for representatives. And then also emilysegrin.com. That website holds my actual training courses that you can purchase on demand. Also has my webinars that are free for you to sign up for, and any upcoming events that I'm doing. I am starting Makeup Marketing Online February boot camp next Monday. So let me know if you're interested in information about that. You can sign up at emilysegrin.com. So helpful recruiting tips, because this is more about converting the leads than it is about recruiting people. I did want to leave you with some tools that I have already provided that might be able to help you with the online recruiting part of it. So if you go to makeupmarketers.com, there is a page that has a ton of my links to recruiting articles on there. I also have my YouTube channel where some of the most popular recruiting videos are marketing your Avon business on Facebook, 5 Avon tips for recruiting reps online, converting Avon website visitors into customers and representatives, and then how to recruit Avon reps like a boss. As far as the training goes, I do boot camps. This will be my second one. As far as I know, I'm going to continue to do them, but we'll always update you if something changes. We'll get more in depth of the how-to on the online recruiting during that February boot camp. And then, of course, as I mentioned in the previous slides, you're welcome to join my monthly webinars. I host 2 of them. And then there are 2 specific courses that I've already created on recruiting and leadership. And those are how to recruit Avon reps online and Avon recruiting and leadership tips online. And those are $5 a piece on there. So let's get into today's topic. I asked you guys if you wanted to learn about converting leads like a boss, how to make how to work your Avon business like a boss, and what was the third one? I can't remember the third one right now, but you guys voted it third. So I was surprised that you voted for the lead conversion for number 1, because normally I get a lot of feedback that people want sales tips. So I'm kind of excited that you said recruiting and conversion. And I think that our incentives might have something to do with it right now, because we have that amazing trip that we can earn to Atlantis, and then we have scratch-off tickets that we can earn as well. And those both have recruiting components to it. So what I want to show you first, I'm going to exit out of this presentation just for a minute. Okay, and I want to show you some information I put together. So we are currently in campaign 6, and I looked at my recruits, I should say additions. So I looked at my appointments who have actually placed an order already this cycle. And what I did was wanted to determine whether or not the amount of money that I'm investing in Alma is paying off or not. Now, when we look at that other chart, it will be obvious where you see how Alma has greatly impacted my business. However, with this Vacation Like a Boss incentive, what I'm finding is the majority of the successful recruits, so that means they've placed a first or second order of $150 and paid for it on time. The majority are personal recruits, meaning they did not come from Avon. I generated them through my marketing activities, probably through my blog, or somewhere where I've shared out on social media about the Avon opportunity. So I took out the people's names so that we could keep confidentiality here. But what I did was sorted by their award sales. And if we just look at those who had a first or second order of 150 or more, we can see that most of them did not come from Alma. So these ones highlighted in yellow are from Alma, and you can see as we go down that many more of the Alma leads are down here. So I found it very interesting because so I'm looking at my representatives with their order over 150. There's only 6 out of 21 that came from Alma. So what I hope this shows you guys is how important it is. Avon can tell us as much as they are blue in the face and want to, that personal sources are better, but it's always cool to see actual numbers and data that's backing up that argument. So yes, Avon is absolutely correct, at least in my business scenario, that a lot of my personal recruits are performing better than those that came from Alma. So let's get into the presentation here. I put together a real quick slide PowerPoint for you guys. And when I share this on my blog, I will also include some of the follow-up communications that I use to leads, or that I used to use, because now I almost always delegate leads that don't self-appoint. So I don't personally work the leads anymore, but I do have the materials such as the email I would follow up with and the text message I would send to them. And I can give you an example of a type of phone conversation I would have, or a message I would leave. But I'll include that all on the blog post where I feature this video. So this chart, I love looking at number and data and stats. It really gives you an amazing insight into your business, what to expect, what worked, what didn't work, what you're going to do differently, maybe drive you crazy. So what we have here is by year, the number of personal appointments I had by month. So you can see I was doing pretty well in 2014 and 15. That was I should say BA before Alma, before Alma Avon time, was 2014 and 15. And then you can see how big of a difference Alma made in my recruiting numbers for 2016. Here we're just in the 21st of February, so I don't have much data yet for 2017. But you can see the huge difference from last year as already. So I'm always trying to improve over my own performance be the best me, be the best Avon rep and Emily that I can be without looking outside to others to compare myself. So I realized I'm not in the slideshow here. So let me put that whole screen up there. And let's go on to the next slide. So when we collect this data, I have all kinds of spreadsheets that I keep track of stuff, because we all know that in Avon, in Vibe, it only goes back a year, and we really want to have better business records than just a year prior. So let's take a look at 2016, and I just want to show you the trends with how many recruits I had per month, to show you how important it is to take advantage during our sweet spot. So our sweet spot, I talk about this pretty often, both on the customer side and on the recruiting side, to make sure that we take full advantage of tax time. Is that what you thought I was going to say? People have extra money to spend at tax time. It's a perfect time for recruiting. It's a perfect time to invest more in your Avon business to get the best results. So you can see here, April was my top month for having appointments in all of 2016. You may be thinking, Emily, why the heck are you not doing well in December? What happened was I pulled back on the amount of leads I was buying. Some changes took place within Team Momentum. So I took a break from OMA to re-strategize what my initiative was as a recruiter and a leader. So anyways, it's really important to look at trends and different seasons to be able to be prepared for when those peak times come up. So reps, get out there and start planning your April, May, and June, because they were great recruiting months last year. Here are just some quick tips that I want to share with you just from my own experience. Sometimes it is about being lucky, being in the right place at the right time, but we always want to be putting the opportunity out there. So if we're sharing our website address or we're sharing a book and we have our contact information on there, we always want to say to buy or sell. That's putting the idea in their mind. Maybe it'll spark some sort of light bulb where, oh yeah, I did want to try being an Avon rep. It may not be what it takes to convince them, but maybe just remind them that the opportunity is there and you're the leader that they want to sign up with when they're ready. So know how the process works. Go to sellavon.com and read the frequently asked questions. Read what your potential recruits are going to be reading. As far as being able to explain an experience or look for improvements or ways you can get better at things, part of it's just going through the process and learning how it works. So I always recommend that my team members place an order on their e-store so they know how the whole process of ordering online works. Then you're more capable of explaining it to your customer or your potential team member. Be familiar with the benefits and frequently asked questions. Some of my most popular blog posts are about the money end of Avon. Surprise, surprise. People are interested in money. They want to know how much they can make. They want to know how much they make online. They want to know how much it's going to cost them. They want to know how they get paid. So think about all those questions that have to do with money. And then also commitment, whether that's time or training or how hard they're going to have to work. I'm a big fan of being completely honest. So I'd rather tell someone the truth. Yeah, it's hard to make it. You're going to have to put in long hours. You're going to have to try a bunch of different things. You may have to invest some money. Those that want to work their business and make it a success will expect that. So be upfront and honest, and tell them truthfully what it takes to be successful. Always be prepared. So maybe that means having a flyer on you at all times that has a sticky note so that you can take down their follow-up information and give them the flyer. Make sure you're always prepared. This is something that I need to practice what I preach. I'm not the most like organized, prepared person, but you know, the more I do things, the more important I see it is to always be prepared. And the more prepared you are, the more confident you can be. Collect follow-up information. I have an LABC, which is an Avon store. I get frustrated when my employees say, hey, this person came in and asked about selling Avon. And I say, well, did you get their phone number? And they say, no, they're supposed to email you. No. You want to be able to contact that person. Don't put the ball in their court to follow up with you. You want to be following up with them, okay? So that's what that means by take the next step by the reins. Make sure the ball is in your court for the follow-up. Get ready for busy seasons. So like I mentioned, tax return time, and then also pay attention to the trends in the month cycle. So I always find my sales and my recruits, I get better conversions and higher sales towards the front of the month. By the end of the month, people are running out of money. A lot of times I'll notice that Avon will do the free shipping on $25 towards the end of the month because the activity kind of drops off and doesn't pick back up again until the first of the next month. People that are on fixed income, a lot of them get paid on the first. So pay attention to trends on timing as far as converting your leads. And then invest more heavily during peak season. So maybe you want to double the amount of brochures you get, or include a sample and a recruiting flyer in every brochure you pass out in February or March. It's almost the end of February, so March. But look at those busy times and plan how you're going to make the most of it. And then use multiple lead sources. Like I mentioned, don't just rely on OMA. I think OMA has been a big factor in how quickly my leadership business has grown. But then you look at, you know, where the people that are getting the most success came from, and a lot of those are personal recruits. So use multiple sources of bringing in leads to always have that pipeline full, so that you always have people signing up, always have people submitting first-time orders. You know, you want to keep that ball rolling and keep your recruiting cycle continuous, always recruiting. Recruit online and in person. All right, so I did want to go over, there was some really helpful information in the OMA training on Avon University. And it's been a long time since I visited it. And so I went back again and grabbed a few screenshots that I found really helpful. Here are some examples of value statements about Avon. Guys, be sure to know the difference with the 3 different recruiting kits. This says $15, they're now $25 at the minimum. But get to know what is in the $25, the $50, and the $100 starter kit so that you have that information to share with potential recruits. Here's some other great advantages about Avon that may be better than other companies out there that require you to hang on to inventory or do home parties or whatever it is. Look at how Avon has the competitive advantage. And while you don't want to be talking down other companies, you do want to be reinforcing the fact that they will love being with Avon. So just to go at the very basic level, let's talk about what lead share is. And lead share is different than OMA because you can still get leads that you do not pay for. They come very, very few and far between nowadays. So I won't go in that too much, but they still do come through the OMA application. And the difference is just that Avon has shared this lead with you, and it can be revoked. So it can be taken back to give to the district manager if you don't close it, whereas OMA leads we purchase to hold on to until we close them, or until they tell us to stop bothering them. So here are the lead share criteria and priority. So the higher a conversion rate you have, the more quickly you will receive leads, okay? So I know that it depends on your eligibility, so you have to be a star promoter or higher, and you have to take the OMA training that is on Avon University. And then there are a few other criteria here. Your account must be in good standing. So in order to have lead share, I know once you're a star promoter, you can be delegated leads too. So I'm not going to comment on, we don't have the Unit Leader Plus title anymore. So if you have any specific questions that I'm not answering, check the leadership desk for that. Appoint a minimum of 2 qualified leads in the past 3 campaigns. And then, of course, you have to use the OMA. You need something, sweetie? Yes. Okay. What's up? Hang on, guys. Ava's home with me today. She has strep throat. What's up, baby? Okay, sorry about that. This is the reality of my work at home. Sometimes it gets interrupted, and I accept that. And so anyways, let's take a look at some of the factors that will help us convert those leads. We have a speed to call impact. So the quicker that you follow up with someone when they submit their information, the more likely you are to close it. So that's really important as well for leaders who are delegating. We want to make sure to delegate as soon as possible. However, I really advise that you capture that person's contact information so you have it even if you have delegated the lead. So we see here, they recommend doing 6 phone calls. I like to switch it up so that I try to contact them by phone, by text, and by email. So that's actually 3 attempts. It's not calling the person 3 times. Use your best judgment on this as someone who would be looking into the opportunity. If I put myself in their place, I would be annoyed if someone tried to call me 3 times. Leave a message and I will respond to you after you leave a message. So use your own best judgment and what you're comfortable with. But I highly recommend that you try the 3 different communication techniques. So that's calling, texting, and emailing, okay? And when you leave a message, you can say, hey, this is Emily with Avon. I was just following up with your interest in becoming an Avon representative. I'll also send you an email with this information. And then you can go on and give a little pitch if you want, or just leave your contact information for them to get in touch with you. So here's just showing that it definitely helps those who tried different ways to reach someone other than just doing a phone call. So make sure you're emailing as well. Some people prefer to have the information in writing in front of them to be able to understand it better. Some people would rather talk to you over the phone. So people learn in different ways. I like to have the details and look through it myself, and then talk to someone after I know some of the information. So here's their recommended schedule. I would alter it a little bit. Like I said, I would do a phone, a text, and an email the first day. I'd probably follow up on day 3 again with the call, the text, and the email. If I still don't get in touch with them, I would push it out to day 7 and do the same 3 types of contacts. And if they are not getting back to me, I would make sure that they're captured in my email marketing program so that I'm continuously marketing to them. And then I would probably follow up 2 weeks later after I had tried 9 times among all the different communication methods. So that's me. That's my level of comfort and what I have found works for me. So definitely test your own strategy, come up with your own schedule as far as how many times to try and talk to them, and how often and when. Okay, so this says 6 calls is the right level of persistence. If someone called me 6 times and they were trying to sell something to me, I would be pretty put off. So just take people's their privacy and their preferences into consideration, and don't try to hound them, or they may not want to join anymore. All right, so here we go, and I took screenshots because I don't want to show any personal information within ALMA. This is under preferences in ALMA. So if you don't even know what ALMA is, go to your sales leadership tab on youravon.com and read about ALMA and check it out, see what it looks like, get comfortable with it. Oops. And here is where you can buy leads. You have to be an ambassador or hired to purchase leads, and the higher title you have, the more you can buy. I have tried premium and standard leads. I definitely found the standard leads were not worth the money. You may want to try and see what your experience is. Premium leads are expensive, and it can build up pretty fast how much money you invest. So only invest what you can afford. I like to set it at the maximum number and then put it on pause when I have spent my budget, okay? So that way, because first of all, I'm not gonna get 300. A lot of times you get about half or less of your maximum amount. So I want to receive them quickly and then put it on pause when I have spent enough. All right, so that is my way of doing my premium leads. It's up to you what works best for you and your business. So this is what our managed lead screen looks like. And this heart right here means that it is a personal lead. So even though it is in ALMA, I have somehow generated it myself. So they came to my website, or they found one of my blogs and they signed up for more information. The little recycle arrows here means they've inquired more than once. So that may be someone who's really excited. So you want to get a hold of them even faster. Okay, so that's what those mean. So when you look at your self-contracts, pay attention to how many of them have hearts. So you'll see who's coming from personal sources and who's coming from lead buy if you are buying. So here's just what it looks like when you have leads that you haven't opened yet. And again, it says exempt from expiring. So they're ones that I have generated or one that I have paid for. They are not through the lead share program. All right, so here is what it looks like when I go to delegate to my team members. There's several different strategies you could use when delegating. I have found that what's working for me and Team Momentum is for them to have to get to star promoter themselves. So they definitely have to show an interest in leadership and be recruiting from their own network before I will help them with leads by delegating. So then I rotate who I delegate to. So I do that by title. So my higher title leaders get leads first. I prioritize them based on title. And then I also look at conversion rates for my leaders. So you want to make sure if you are investing money that your team members are invested as well. So I always ask, I'm happy to share leads with you, but I ask that you follow up with a phone call, an email, and a text. So I don't think that's too much to ask. And you do have to be careful because when people aren't investing their own money, they won't take care of it as well as if they were putting their hard money into it. So I am all for delegating and helping my leaders. That's the only way I'm going to move up in title anymore. But you want to make sure that your leaders are fully invested and committed into your process and what you expect out of them. So here's conversion rates on the reports page. I'm not completely convinced that these numbers are accurate because when you look at the OMA Conversion Rates report, they show something different. So I'm not sure what the difference is there. We can see from this chart here in 2014, 28% was the average lead conversion in this study. I just pulled this from my report yesterday. So my conversion rate is 21%. Our national average for Avon is 15%. So we definitely have room for improvement on converting leads. So make sure you're not just following up one time, follow up multiple times. I like to say keep marketing to them until they say no. Okay, because then you're not wasting your time on or money on them anymore. But we want to find out if they are interested, and if they're not, we want to hear that so that we can move on. So here's something I like to pay attention to, and this helps me tell when I should pause. Down at the bottom, the very bottom of the reports page, it tells you how many you are signed up to potentially receive, and here it says how many I've actually received. So then I went ahead and put it on pause through the end of the month. All right. So that's all, guys. Let me end the show here real quick. I just wanted to show you where you can go on my websites to find more information, as long as they come up fast enough here. close out of the presentation. Okay, so here's makeupmarketers.com. Here is where you'll find the recruiting tips. And then here's all my different events. So under training, there's boot camp, webinars, recordings, and DVDs and workbooks. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video and happy converting. Bye.